So I've been curious how a lot of these companies keep things secret, because they'll work on these things for 4, 5, 6, 7 years at a time. And it's always amazed me how some companies are able to keep things totally secret and even sometimes shadow drop stuff. And then other companies really, really struggle. Sometimes they're able to keep the story secret, but maybe some gameplay leaks, or vice versa. Sometimes everything leaks. It's just a spread. And, you know, I just find it interesting how different companies have different policies, because like Rockstar's been very successful at keeping the game locked down traditionally, which is why it was so remarkable when they had the leaks, was that like a year or a year and a half ago, where so much stuff leaked, gameplay footage, all of that stuff leaked. It was shocking because that never happens with Rockstar. And Naughty Dog also historically had a really good time, or really good luck, keeping things secret, which is why it was so jarring when stuff leaked for The Last of Us Part 2. But Intergalactic, the one of the actors for Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet, the upcoming Naughty Dog game, revealed some information on how they avoid leaks at Naughty Dog in their games, at least in theory. So as you can see, spotted on Gaming Leaks, Dexerto recently interviewed Stephen A. Chang, one of the actors from Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet. Chang's character is yet to be revealed, but was spotted in one of the photos from the game's first trailer. Players might remember Chang as Jesse from The Last of Us Part 2. Okay. During this interview, Chang revealed that he has just started filming his scenes for the Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet, and how Naughty Dog avoids leaks. So he's just now filming. Kind of reaffirms the idea that this, some people were saying, oh, it's going to drop first thing in 26. I think most likely it's the Horizon Online MMO early 26, Wolverine late 26, and then I think Heretic Prophet doesn't come out until 2027. That's my guess. And then I think maybe we see the next God of War thing in like 2028 as a PS6 launch title or something. That would be my guess, something like that. Having said that, Chang confirmed that he has, quote, started doing some work for the next Naughty Dog game, end quote. However, developers keep this project very close to the chest. The actor stated that he is as familiar with the game as the fans are, noting that he got access to the trailer maybe a week before they released it. Also shared that a friend of his who is working on the game is as in the dark as Chang is, even asking him, is this The Last of Us Part 3 that we're doing? He doesn't even know. That's insane. Imagine being hired to do something and you're like, I don't even know what game we're working on. Like, I have no idea. Naughty Dog only sends pieces of the script to the actors. Chang explained that Naughty Dog is handling Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet like they did with The Last of Us Part 2. The actors are being asked to film in sections and are only receiving pieces of the script, which are sometimes, quote, not even chronological, end quote. Right now, he is waiting for another script so that he can put the pieces together just like everybody else. Chang's statement suggests that the developers have tightened up the security procedures for their leaks, trying to avoid any loose ends. The actor also stated that Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet is going to be the next big thing, end quote. Which seems like a weird thing to say when you don't know what it is. Might be true. I'm just saying I don't think you even know. This is going to be the next big thing. What is it? Well, I don't know. I have no idea. That's basically what's happening here. And this got me thinking of some of the other games that have had leaks. Of course, The Last of Us Part 2 had a lot of leaks that they dealt with. That was mainly because, allegedly, of the remote work stuff that was happening. Because if you recall, The Last of Us Part 2 was originally supposed to launch like early first few months of 2020. And then something happened in early 2020 and they delayed it indefinitely. And eventually would launch it in June. But while they initially were delayed indefinitely, everybody was sent home and they stopped working in the office. So they frantically came up with some work from home stuff and tried to do everything based off of their server at the studio. However, there was some sort of backdoor access and somebody was able to hack in and get access to a ton of different stuff. Big oops, oopsie poopsie. But that's why that leaked. It wasn't because of any broader policy. It was kind of a very unique situation, certainly. But one of the examples of a company that has long struggled, like they're very secretive, but they've had mixed success with it, is of course Bethesda. I found this thread from Timmy8 from 5 years ago, posted on r/games. And basically he collected all of the assorted leaks for Fallout 4, going all the way back to 2013. Because bear in mind, I mean, they released Skyrim and then they went silent. And all told, Elder Scrolls 6, very little has leaked about that game. Very, very, very little has leaked about that game. Especially when you compare it to how much stuff leaked for like Fallout 4 and Starfield. Tons of stuff leaked for Starfield in the lead up to its launch. But so far, Elder Scrolls 6 has been very, very quiet. But if you look back at this, in January of 2013, Three Dog, the voice actor who did the radio stuff in Fallout 3, said, to all my Fallout 3 and Three Dog fans, there may be more of the dog coming. Fingers crossed. Look at this old school Twitter layout. That's funny. People looked at this, were like, oh, interesting. Why do you know about this? But nobody, I mean, they just moved on. He further posted a bunch of tweets. Dear fans of Fallout, some have wondered if I've been playing a game regarding my initial post on a possible new game. Please know that I would never kid or bullshit fans of the game. Never. I posted the truth. Then I was asked to keep my mouth shut so Bethesda could do their secret work without being inundated with questions and rumors. So you proceed to tweet about it. Hey, could you please be quiet and not share anything about this? Oh, for sure, man, for sure. Let me just tweet about you asked me to keep quiet about it. Dude, you did the opposite of the thing you're supposed to do. I've only posted that my fingers crossed like all other fans of the game. That is another on the way. Nothing I've tweeted is bullshit or manipulation. I'm not trying to piss off this. I want to work with them and not jeopardize my relationship with them. I do hope. Dude, seriously, sometimes people just need to put the phone down. So often, it's like, just put the phone down. Just stop. They asked you not to talk about it. Don't talk about it. Just don't. Beyond that, later, there was a Fallout 4 info leak from an employee. A second potential look at the game comes from a post on R Gaming where he shares that he is friends with someone who works in public relations at Bethesda. He alleges that he has learned some details about the unannounced game, but they are not super concrete and subject to change. This was January 10th of 2013. This post, 13 years ago. Do they have the exact date of it? Oh, there it is. July 13th, 2012. I mean, this is even earlier, so I don't know which one this is. I've been hearing reports from people in the Boston area where my fellow Fallout-obsessed brother lives that Bethesda has been in the Boston area doing initial research for Fallout 4. It's highly speculative, but the main rumors surround Bethesda's connection to the Institute, or what we call the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, or MIT. MIT, although populated in Cambridge and just across the river from Boston proper, still has a small town feel when it comes to the way news propagates through the community. It is students and staff at MIT that seem to be the ones talking most about it, and they would be in the position to know. I wouldn't be surprised at all if the rumors proved to be true in the coming weeks. Ended up being true. It's always so fun to go back and look at these things after the game launches and just see how much was true, because there's often little bitty tidbits about stuff that, you know, maybe you didn't even know was the case before. Shortly after that, in November of 2013, Fallout 4 trademark was filed by Bethesda in Europe. This isn't really surprising. Everybody knew that they were going to make one, but it wasn't confirmed yet. Leaked documents in December of 2013 were talking about leaked documents that said Fallout 4 was real. It was codenamed Institute. The casting documents, which have been able to confirm are real, include scripts, character descriptions, and other details about the next Fallout. And although the word Fallout does not appear in these scripts, there are several references to Fallout settings and locations. The casting director for this project also worked on other Bethesda games like Dishonored and Skyrim. This is the first confirmation we've received that the next Fallout game is in the works, although it's been generally assumed that BGS have been working on Fallout since completing Skyrim back in 2011. Bethesda has yet to announce the new game in any form. In 2012, rumors circulated that Bethesda employees were scouting Massachusetts Institute of Technology in Boston for an upcoming Fallout game, but other than that, news has been very thin. There was also a major hoax, the Survivor 2299 hoax, which was a whole other thing that's not really important to this discussion. Maybe we do a deep dive on that at some point. But this also, Jason Schreier, back in the day, worked at Kotaku, and I'm about to show you what got him. Well, this actually is in fact what got him blacklisted. This right here, where 2 weeks ago a Kotaku reader sent him documents for the casting call. After he posted this in December of 2013, Jason Schreier, who now of course works at Bloomberg, he got blacklisted by Bethesda so hard that it caused major problems at Kotaku because they couldn't get coverage for any Bethesda project. It was a whole thing because he had the actual documents, the Fallout 4 casting script. Todd has mentioned it a couple times when he was talking about, here it is, when he was talking about the whole process of developing and announcing that and all that. But I mean, you put out a script that said war never changes. Everybody knew what that is. Everybody knew that. Everybody knew that. It was for the Prey leak. I could be mistaken. I thought it was for this. Either way, he leaked a lot of stuff at Bethesda, specifically Bethesda Softworks, the publishing arm of ZeniMax, and he upset some people at Bethesda. I'm sure this didn't help. I'm sure this made it worse. June 23rd of 2014, someone played Fallout 4 and leaked the details. Ooh, the fake employee leaker from last year. Before you'll say troll, liar, etc., you can read more. Okay, so here we are. Fallout 4 is set in and around the Boston surrounding area and countryside. The downtown area is entirely controlled by the Institute, a group of techies and scholars, as well as researchers who devote their lives to technology. The countryside area is a wasteland with small towns and settlements, as well as vaults here and there. Logan International Airport is taken over by the Brotherhood of Steel, who are there trying to control technology and are currently waging a war against the Institute, as they both have disagreements as to who should be in control of the technology in the area. Meanwhile, Vault 79, located outside Boston, is under the control of the Railroad, a group of people dedicated to helping androids escape the Institute. Different factions. The Railroad returns from Fallout 3, where you only had a small glimpse of it during the replicated man quest. In this game, they are a full faction and are much larger. The Brotherhood of Steel returns and control Logan Airport. The Brotherhood of Steel are not the same as seen in Fallout 3. Instead, a similar Brotherhood of Steel to the one seen in classic Fallout games, as well as New Vegas, make an appearance. Creatures, super mutants return. It starts to sound pretty similar. Let's see, gameplay. Play similar to Fallout 3 in New Vegas. You can play in third person or first, or on the PC version, a new classic mode that will put the game into a bird's eye view and play similar to classic Fallout games. That didn't end up happening, but maybe it was a thing for a while. Maybe they were experimenting with it. I don't know. This is also funny. So they claim that there was a PS3 and 360 version in the works. They claim, where was it? They claimed that they were working on 5 total DLCs and a spin-off revealed by Behavior Interactive. October 2016 Fallout spin-off released. As I said, ask me about it, don't ask about this. If you do, 100% will be denied. Bethesda will not comment on rumors. P.S. I leaked some of the first Fallout 4 info by accident when it ended up in the hands of Kotaku. Oops. I think most likely what this is it's possible. I mean, to be clear, it's possible that maybe at some point a bird's eye view was in development. I think that would be very, very unlikely, because you can't just add that everything has to change. All the level layouts, everything has to change. So I think that's very, very unlikely. But it's possible that this guy had some info, or maybe some other info was collected from other leaks and other sources. But there's a few things that are very much on the money and very, very precisely accurate, which I, again, always find very, very interesting. Perhaps the main thing from all this is that I find it shocking more stuff does not leak. At this point, these games are so massive. They hire so many thousands of people over the course of the game's lifetime that it seems so surprising that things don't leak way, way, way more frequently. And, I think it's a testament to the power of NDAs, certainly, but it's also just the general policy and how they handle this stuff, and handle leakers and stuff. Because it's pretty rare to have somebody that's willing to jeopardize their entire career just to get some social media points by leaking something, even anonymously, which never made sense to me. You're going to leak something anonymously, so you're not even getting the attention. You're just I guess messing with people, and you're going to potentially ruin your entire career by leaking it. Because if you get caught leaking something, they'll sue you. You're branded forever. No company will hire you. Your career is over because you decided to leak a script. It's not something you should ever do. If you signed an NDA, you signed an NDA. Don't break it. It's always just fascinating to me that they don't leak even more, because there's some games that leak like a sieve. We knew that the Oblivion remaster was coming. That was not a surprise. That was not anything, but it seems like that was mostly leaking from the marketing teams and the people who were not working on the game. For the vast majority of the game's lifetime, it didn't leak, and it was primarily the FTC hearings that caused the initial wave of speculation around it to come out. And if that hadn't happened, it makes me wonder if we would have ever known about it. It might have actually successfully leaked if they hadn't done that FTC thing. One of the ways they've also caught leakers, and I've heard about this happening at a certain large video game developer / publisher, which is very funny. It's very interesting. But basically, Elon in 2008, how did you catch an employee who leaked the confidential data of Tesla and sold it to a news outlet? This is what Elon actually did. The team actually did. It's a quite interesting story. We sent what appeared to be identical emails to all all like suspected employees who would be responsible, but each was actually coded with either 1 or 2 spaces between sentences, forming a binary signature that identified the leaker. So basically, like in each gap between sentences, they changed the number of spaces so you wouldn't be able to tell. But when the leaker highlighted, Control-C copied, it copied the spaces, and when they posted it to the news outlet, the news outlet copy and pasted it into the text. And then when it got published, they just went and counted how many spaces. Oh, it was this employee with this signature. Boom, it was this guy. And they caught him, which is pretty clever. It's pretty funny. Okay. So I was talking to somebody who works very high up in a marketing position at a big gaming publisher and developer. And they said that they were using a similar technique to catch a person who had been leaking stuff, funnily enough, to outlets like Insider Gaming, because there's been people who send Tom Henderson stuff from like internal memos and stuff, and they want to find who's doing that. So they start coding stuff like this to catch them, which is pretty funny, just retype all the info. Yeah. But that's the thing is they catch people when they slip, when they're a little lazy, because really, if you're on top of every little bitty thing, they probably can never catch you if you're really smart and really on top of every little bitty detail, which is always going to be the case. But it's the little mistakes. Somebody thinking, I'll just copy and paste it in, that's when they get you. That's how they do it. He took my thing.